Hey guys, welcome to the FitTown Show. This is Coach Andrew with Coach Mo, and we got a John Greene sandwich today. We got John Greene in the middle here, one of our Beach Fit and FTX members, but you'll mostly see him on the Beach Fit side around the 4:30 and 5:30 p.m. times. So we're going to be talking all about the growth mindset today with John. John is someone that we've all as coaches have had really good conversations with about just how to apply some more broader concepts inside the gym and outside the gym. So we wanted to kind of share that and also feature John as a member because he's just an awesome person we like having around.
You're awesome too.
Thank you.
So are you.
Thank you.
So tell us a little bit about how awesome you are. What do we need to know about John? Give us the basics.
Well, I started playing sports when I was in third grade. I started out with football. Most everything was team sports. About 13 years of football, and then in college I decided that running and football and all the other things I did were not serving me as well as they needed to. I was having injuries from running, and one summer I needed a bicycle to get around town, and so I bought a bicycle, and that became my mode of transportation around Boone, North Carolina, when I was at college, ASU, and plug it. And so I found myself riding through the woods to class. And I was like, well, that's kind of cool. I started taking jumps and going off-road. And so one thing led to another, and I got into mountain biking in about 1986. I started racing mountain bikes.
Nice.
And so that led to a passion of cycling and brought me up to, in the 90s, I did a lot of cycling. I raced mountain bikes and road bikes. I raced internationally in Mexico only. But internationally sounds good.
Some illegal races down there? What's going on down there in Mexico?
Mostly over the border stuff. But,
were you also bringing back packages with you?
Yeah, I was mountain biking. Anyways. So I got into cycling, and in about 2000, my life got a little complicated, and I got off the bike as much as I enjoyed being on the bike. And my fitness level began to wane a little bit, but I still kept the bike in my life. And so over the last 20 years, I've done more cycling than anything, and I've always tried to balance myself out with swimming. And the reason I got into CrossFit at the time, or Beach Fit, was because my shoulder was killing me. And Zach Summers said, I was seeing Zach Summers, he says, you have to consider going over to Beach Fit and working out. So Melissa gave me the introduction, signed me up 2 years ago, and now here I am. So that's it.
2 years. So what have those 2 years of straight up Beach Fit really done for you? Let's talk about physically first.
Okay. So I like to mountain bike up at Jonathan Dickinson. And what I've noticed is that I've always prided myself to be able to hang out and ride with the younger guys. And so now I can keep up with the younger guys. I don't get dropped as much, but I've got a lot more. I can see there's the power, the strength, and the recovery have paid off for me. Physically, mentally is a little different ballgame.
Yeah, that's what I'm really excited to dive in with you today. One thing that I've noticed about the last few months of coaching with you is before and after class, it just seems like it's much more than just an hour of your day. It seems like it's more than just fitness for you. And we've had some really cool conversations. So what has training inside this gym, 45 minutes a day, what has that done for you mindset-wise and outside of the gym?
Okay. So I wake up every morning and I put my feet on the floor and I say, today's going to be a better day than yesterday. And I go back to my father when I was younger growing up. My dad had a copy machine business, and so I grew up selling copy machines. And that was a tough business. Putting a suit and tie on every day, going out knocking on doors, 30 people slam the doors in your face. And I learned that if I help enough people get what they need out of life, then I usually naturally get what I deserve. And so what I found is that I feed off of other people's success. And so when I have an opportunity to connect with somebody and make a positive deposit in their life, then I feel like I'm going to have a great day. So no matter what happens, today was a little bit better than yesterday. I'm satisfied with that.
That's awesome. In sticking with Beach Fit for a couple years, has it been a challenge to come to class, or is it those kind of things that keep you coming back? Is it the adrenaline?
It's a combination of things. I know that physically I'm going to feel better. Mentally I'm going to feel really good because I work out of the house and I in a management leadership role, so I have a lot of things feeding up to me I have to deal with on an hourly basis, it seems like. So this is my break. I get to detach, I get to forget about everything, I get to, and it's funny because when you get over here, no matter what's going on in the office or in your business life, it seems like it takes me 4 minutes to ride my bike here. Within 4 minutes, I got everything figured out for the day. So I come in, I work out, and I've noticed a difference in the way I feel. My wife calls me 2-pack right now because I got a 2-pack. And
yay! You're welcome, E.
So I call it a 3-pack, but anyways, life is good. And like I said, I feed off other people's success. And so when I see other people take a step in the right direction, I take one small step, I call it one giant small step. I feed off of it. It makes me feel good.
Yeah.
Can you talk about like the team side of things? I know you've had a lot of emails back and forth with Tony, and he mentioned that you often share like how often you use stuff that either we're talking about in the gym, something he's writing about with your team. How do you do that? How do you implement it?
Well, let me think about that for a second. Let me pause. I would say that I'm in a role where I'm able to mentor directly and indirectly with people that work directly under me or who work horizontally from me. And what I usually find in what Tony's blogging about or what he's reading about is that there's a component of what he's blogging about that is taking place in my life, or it's something I've read or something I'm focusing on. And the last piece I think he and I really connected on was that, you know, we're all one human body and we all have different jobs that we do. So, you know, like, and we all have to work together just like the muscles of the body. And so individually, you know, a bicep is just a bicep. But when you combine a bicep with an arm and a leg and a body and a head, you got a human being. And so what I've found is that the coaching here, the people who work out here, I've never had a bad vibe coming in or walking out. But I think that this is reflective of the community and really where we fit in as a human, call it a species or whatever you want to call it, where we fit in as individuals and where we fit in as a team. So I'm really satisfied with the way that everybody comes together to make a positive impact in people's lives. Because when you leave here, people are going to go out and make a positive impact. You know, they're going to be in a better mood. They're going to smile at somebody. They're going to open a door for somebody. Oh, that person's got a flat tire. Let me go help them out. Things like that. So I think that the parallels, I think they're universal parallels that are being shared. And I think that when you come in, I think the focus really gets down to who you are as an individual, who you are at your core. And that's about all I can say. Thanks for listening.
Yeah. How do you use that to, do you kind of segment out the different roles in your life? Like, how do you use this to attack the different roles? Is it mostly just show up in your work stuff, or do you try to use it at home, use it on the bike? Are you able to translate it that well?
I could translate it to the point where no matter how bad you suffer, it's always going to get better.
Yeah.
And I also believe that you need to be prepared when you go take on a task. So for me personally, it's getting enough sleep. It's getting the right nutrition. It's showing up and being ready to work out, being present at the time. So I think I take that to my job and I take it to my team is, you know, look, first you got to show up, right? Second is you got to help other people get what they want. Third, you got to add value to other people. And so what I found is when I come into the gym, I feel like I'm adding value to others just by showing up because we're encouraging one another just by being present.
Yeah. I saw that a lot with when we hit COVID last year. A lot of people were struggling, but a lot of people kept doing it because they saw others doing it. And I think it was really needed at that time. But I think on a smaller scale, it happens every single day. Sure, you know, when you show up, you hold, you know, the other people in your class accountable. I also think what's really cool about the dynamic that you have, as I've seen this with other people too, is the people that show up wanting to give the most to others end up getting the most in return. And it's really interesting how that happens.
Yep. That is, it's very easy to say. You hope enough people get what they want out of life, you get what you deserve naturally. But just acting it out, you know, it's taken me, I've been practicing that for 30 years. So for me, it just comes naturally. It's like I said, I like to see other people be successful. I like to see other people overcome their obstacles, and I like to see how they go out and make a difference in the world because of the experiences that they had and the challenges that they've overcome. So I like to be a part of that. I don't want to be all of it. I want to be that person that just, it's good to see you today.
Yeah.
You know, work out.
The elbow bump.
Yeah, elbow bump. Don't pass out. It'll be over with soon.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's always a blessing to see someone who's come from like an individualized sport such as cycling, because I know you've had team sports and then cycling was kind of your outlet, but to come into a group environment, you kind of get to focus on other people, and it's like a whole nother level. It's like you're out of your mind, it's almost like an out-of-body experience, and it's just a lot more rich.
I like to be pushed.
Yeah.
I can't push myself as hard as somebody else can, especially professionals. You know, you guys know how to make us suffer, but you make us love ourselves for it too. So, and the other thing I do appreciate is I was reflecting on this last night. I said, well, okay, I really miss my team sports. I miss my coach. I miss running wind sprints. Or I miss the team camaraderie, because in cycling, you know, unless you have a coach, you're usually training by yourself. And the only time you're involved with a team is when you're racing. And when I was racing, I didn't have a team, so I had to be a teammate of everybody just to succeed and be successful. So I like the team dynamic. I like the coaching dynamic, and I think it's made all the difference in my path and my journey right now with you all. I don't want to. I mean, I don't want to go back. I don't want to go back to being by myself.
Don't leave us, John.
No, coach
Do
me,
you
please.
still do some stuff on? I mean, I think you do a good amount on your own as well. Do you find that there's like a balance to both, like a benefit to both, or if you could do everything in a team setting, would you choose to do everything in a team setting?
I would do a little bit of both, because one of the things I have noticed is that when I cycle, I can leave my house and I say within 3 pedal strokes, the complications of the day are gone. Mm-hmm. So I like to ride at Jonathan Dickinson from Tequesta. So by the time I hop on my bicycle, 3-4 pedal strokes, life becomes simpler, problems get solved a lot easier, but I also spend a lot of time by myself reflecting and thinking. And as I'm out in the woods, I tell my team, you always got to be in motion. You know, your gaze is going to set your destiny. So when you're out riding a bike, you're looking into the future. You're looking at to where I'm going to go eventually. And then you have to have enough confidence and faith in yourself that your front wheel is going to go where you're looking. Because if you look at your front wheel and you look at a tree, you're going to hit the tree. But if your gaze is set, it's setting the destiny of your trajectory, your momentum, and where your bike's going to go. So I've got to be by myself. And I've noticed that too. If I don't get in the woods and I just do nothing but CrossFit, I get cranky.
Yeah.
And I get congested psychologically, spiritually, creatively. So
You're a wild child. That's what it sounds like.
Yeah, I don't know. My mom and dad did a great job.
Yeah. So I've noticed, especially over the past month, when we've been talking more about, okay, building better people, not just fit people. Have you seen that sprinkled into your classes when we talk about confidence? Have you noticed that, or has it helped you?
It's helped me, because I think confidence it's pretty much like a muscle. You got to work it out to appreciate it and enjoy it. I'm always cognizant of my when you're coaching me. Hey, do it this way, do it that way. Try this. I understand that with patience, my confidence is going to improve, because I couldn't help
Nice
myself.
plug. I like it. Wow. We didn't even tell you to say that. That was really good.
I studied. But I'd say my confidence, and confidence is really, you're confident in some areas and you're not confident in others. Yeah. So I think you've got to really understand what you're trying to achieve and achieve it to build your confidence. There's some things, like if you told me to go do a clean and jerk with a barbell next door, I'd be like, I wouldn't have any confidence. But if I worked out, I practiced, I got into it, my muscle memory got good, then I think I have no problem with it. So I'd be very confident in it. If someone told me that I had to stand in front of 1,000 people and speak this afternoon, I'd be halfway confident. I could get my way through it. But I think, like I said, confidence is a muscle, and you've got to always be aware of your situation so that you can't, you authentically understand where you are and have a personal assessment of where you've got to go and commit to yourself to get there. That's pretty much where my confidence lies. So.
Nice. I probably shouldn't have told you that we have 50,000 downloads on every one of our podcasts, so just kidding.
Hitting my shoulders back.
So especially when it comes to, when I think about, okay, personal development and how that fits in with the gym, sometimes I find that, okay, if I go to the gym, I at least can forget about my problems. But it sounds like when you hit the bike, you're actually trying to solve some things in your life. Like, have you felt that balance between, I'm just masking my problems, or I'm actually chasing a solution?
Chasing solutions.
Yeah.
Yep. And that's really, I like to journal. And I used to be able to carry a little book around with me. Now I'm technologically savvy. I dictate into my phone when I have ideas into notes. It's a beautiful
Same
thing.
here.
Yep.
Best thing ever.
Yep. And if you really figure it out, you can send that to your computer. You can email it to you in a Word document.
Oh my gosh.
And it's already there. So all you have to do
You
is
guys.
There's an app for that.
Yeah.
You have it.
Yeah. So I really like to draw similarities between nature and the human race and some of the things that we're dealing with. And I think that nature, being in nature doesn't lie. Nature does not have an agenda. What you see is what you get. And if you look at it close enough, you can pretty much find a parallel to what you're dealing with to solve your problem. And what I try to get away from is I don't like to preach to people. I just like to be an influence by being an example. And if I can speak to somebody in a way that's non-threatening to them or doesn't make them feel or put up a barrier, I can get my message across to somebody a lot easier. So there's a lot of processing that goes on when I'm riding my bike in the woods. And stay tuned.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of my goals is to, I like to write. And I've got about 13,000 words in a fable manuscript. And I'd like to publish that. That's all. It's a fable about nature and here for a purpose, and we all fit in with meaning and purpose.
So it's the first thing you've ever written, like book-wise?
Yeah, it's my first book.
Nice.
So I finally hired a developmental editor, and so I've taken the step. And that's, again, confidence. I've never done that before in my life. And with success comes confidence. That's one of the things that we all know is you get closer to achieving your goals, you get closer to accomplishing what you set out to accomplish. Confidence just comes naturally after that. It's what's the next goal? What else can I go for to improve my confidence while being patient?
Hey, don't worry, give it 5 more
I
weeks.
know, I'm sorry. Plugging it.
So that gets me really hopeful to see that the way that you've developed confidence, it's not necessarily I 100% know that I'm going to succeed, but it's trying and risking it. So in, say, a typical workout, have you been able to apply that where you're I have no idea how this is going to work out, but I'm going to try to build that trust with myself?
Yes, I have, especially when I blow up early.
No, not you.
There's times I mask it very well. But let me rephrase your question. When I work out, do I feel like I have to overcome something that's going to be difficult? I would say the Spartan Race. And that was a tough one for me. It wasn't tough in regards of the work. I mean, the workout was tough. I should have done the advanced, but I did just the regular. And I hated myself for it. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, no.
So my confidence level went way down. So, no, I'm just kidding. But, yeah, I would say there's times when I've come in where I've had to say, okay, dude, you can get this. And it's usually some of the complex movements that I have to work through because I don't have that muscle memory yet. So it's really getting me to the point where I've got to focus on the task at hand. And if it's a movement that I'm not so good at, I'm confident that I can go through the motions, but after I've performed the work, after I've gotten better at it, then I'm confident that I can do it and I just move on to something else.
Nice. Go ahead.
Oh, what I was thinking of when I have coached you is your ability to remain teachable and coachable. Like, has that been a skill that you've had to develop, or are you naturally just like teacher's pet?
No. Trust me, I have an agenda.
Well, you got on the podcast, so it clearly worked.
We caved.
It's all coming together. I would say that I've learned that part of what I believe in is you should boldly go where those have gone before you, and then draft off of them. And so what I like to do is I like to lead, but if I don't know, and if I have somebody who's given me their time to impart upon me their wisdom and their experience, like that body thing we all fit together perfectly. You're just helping me be a better me. So why wouldn't I want that? So thank you for being so good.
Oh,
you're good.
Thank you, Mo.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask about kind of like the growth mindset, the personal development side of just like, when did that become a thing for you? Like, was that always kind of there? I mean, obviously you probably weren't reading Tony Robbins at age 3 or whatever, but maybe you were. But like, when was there something that happened that made you want to dive further into this stuff?
Mm-hmm. Well, I have to thank my dad, because when I first got out of college, my dad gave me a box of Zig Ziglar tapes and a yellow Walkman that was waterproof. I have no idea why they were waterproof.
So you could bike with it.
I cut grass.
oh my gosh.
Yeah, so I worked on a golf course after college, so I put on these Zig Ziglar tapes, which, Zig Ziglar, he just lays down the foundations, it's timeless. And so the one thing I got out of that is, you help people get what they want, you'll get what you need.
Yeah.
And so that's what kicked me off into self-development. But the other part that kicked me off was that when I started out in business in the late 80s, I was kind of a door-to-door salesman, man. Like I said, I was selling copy machines in Boca Raton with a suit and tie on, sweating myself to death in the summertime, trying to find, and you learn to be successful under the circumstances. So you take inventory of what your challenges are, and you say, okay, well, I've got to do X, Y, and Z to get there. And if I don't have the tools available to me, where can I get the tools? And that's where it got into the reading and the self-development. So and then you get into the 90s, business-wise, professionally, everything was good. I got into 2000, and I had to make some really serious decisions in my life to get to the next stage of my life in a meaningful and positive way, let's say. And that's where I really found that I had to be authentic with myself, but also seek out knowledge from others. And so I'll read a book. I usually take out of the book, like all of us, I take out what applies to me during that time. And I write a lot of notes, but if I got something that speaks to me and I want to incorporate it into my life, then I take it with me. So, and I'm also in a position where I'm in a leadership position, so I'm always trying to come up with presentations and meetings and stories that can help my team achieve their goals as well. So it's self-development, but again, helping others.
Cool. Do you have any favorite books or resources over the years that you've come across?
That's a great question. Well, I would have to say that, like I said earlier, the Algebra of Happiness is a good one. I do like Think Like a Monk by Jay Shetty.
Yeah, it's a pretty new one, right?
Mm-hmm. And I do like the Silence is the Key by, what's his name? I'll remember in a second. But those are kind of my favorites. There's one book I like that's timeless. It's called Jonathan Livingston Seagull, which is a really good book about finding your purpose in life. Mm-hmm. So those would be my top 4 or 5 that I can actually remember right now.
Cool.
Yeah.
Man, that led me to my deepest question of the day, and that's not sarcasm. It sounds like finding your purpose is very invaluable to people. How would you give someone advice for like really diving into, okay, find out why you're here, who you are, like, mm-hmm. and what that means to the world?
I think you have to have a conversation with yourself, an authentic conversation with yourself, and understand that you are unique that you are here for a reason, you are here for a purpose, at the right time, at the right place. Everything's lined up for you to be here right now, and have the confidence that you bring something positive to the table, not only for yourself but for others. So I'd have to say that got a mental cramp right now. I can't think.
That's okay.
Thank you.
I think you nailed it. I think you're just ended there. That's perfect.
I have nothing else to dig for right now. Got it all out. Thank you.
I like that.
Yeah.
Cool.
Any hidden talents that we should know about?
Come on, you tell us. We know.
Oh no.
Well, no, I can't share those online.
His cover's blown.
No, secret talents. I'm learning how to speak Haitian Creole.
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm trying to learn that. I teach myself guitar. I like to study history from other countries. Try to understand other people's perspectives so I can be understood. So those are about the things that I deal with. I like art. I like to be creative. I like to write. I like to write poems.
Oh my goodness.
I know. You wouldn't notice it. You wouldn't think
Jack of all trades.
Yeah, but it's easy for me to say that because I'm 57 years old. So all these things have accumulated over time, and I've got the luxury of the experience to draw upon the things that have served me. And so I really try to dial into the behaviors and the mindsets that serve me, so that I can make a difference in the world, and the community, and to Cuesta.
Yeah, I definitely think you're doing that, John. I think it's super inspiring to see someone who is 57, who's constantly trying to learn new things and not really like trying to retire or settle down. It's like you just keep pushing, keep trying to learn and grow. I think it's really cool.
Now's the beginning, and the good thing is that staying healthy will allow me to be able to take what I've learned and pass it on for as long as I can. And one of the things that, going back to the workouts and confidence, is that sometimes, especially with Coach Mo, she's so good. She'll get me to the point where I'm almost about to black out and I don't know where I am. And I have the confidence that when I come out of my haze, that I'm going to be right here where I started out, under Mo's leadership and guidance.
In your station.
She's so patient.
Sit down.
Stay within your square.
Yeah, we're definitely blessed to have you guys. If you need to come to Beach Fit, make sure John is going to be there, because it's always a good time, good conversations to be had as well.
It's always a pleasure to listen by you.
All right, guys, we'll wrap up there. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you on the next one.